YouTube, welcome back. It's DubDigital. Today I have a very special guest to the channel. Please welcome ImRedryan. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? It's fun to connect here, Dubs. Is it
Yeah,
all right if I call you Dubs? I was actually thinking I'd call you DubDigital.
I have subs that call me DubDibbity, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. You can call me whatever you want. But it's great to finally connect up. I've seen your videos on Wanchain, and you've probably seen mine, and I've seen you around the ecosystem. So glad to finally connect.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, cool. How can people find you? Twitter, any social handles that they can reach out at?
I'm pretty active on Twitter, and my handle is at RedRyan. And then I've also got a YouTube that I don't update a ton, but whenever I do have a video, I usually try to make it, pretty watchable. I've got a history in music, so I do a lot of crypto music videos, and so if you see me post on YouTube, it'll be something like that, or an update on whatever it is I'm working on.
Nice. I have a music background as well. That was my first job was in music, actually. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Man. Let's get to know you a little bit, flesh it out.
Sweet.
How'd you get into crypto?
So in 2017, I was playing video games online with a couple of buds, and one of them told me that he was mining something called Ethereum and making like $10 a day. I was like, what? I want to do that. And so I got online, researched it, figured it out, and then just went down the rabbit trail. It became something that I am still to this day absolutely obsessed with. So I bought my first time I bought Ethereum, it was like around $200. First time I bought Bitcoin was around 3,000. And I experienced the run up that year, and was just in just so many life highs. Like, oh my God, I'm so good at this. I can't lose at this.
I'm a genius.
I'm a genius. Yeah, right. Everyone should listen to me because I'm real smart.
Yeah.
And then I experienced that just painful bear run that lasted for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And I just never gave up. I stuck with it. I had a huge passion for it. And I'm still here. And I've now, after these last few years, got to really earn from all the greatness that's happened the past few years. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Cool. Was that 2016 then? About then, or 2017?
Yeah, it was around there. 2016, 2017. Yeah.
You stare at crypto charts too much, guys, when you can name the price of assets based on and the year. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I think I bought my first ETH around 85. It must have been around the same run up because ETH went nuts around that time. Did you also get wrecked? Did you also?
I did. Yes, I got wrecked. I mean, at the peak on that year, my portfolio got up to like 130 grand, and I rode it all the way down to about $5,000, and I just kept it. I didn't sell anything. I basically lived broke for those 4 years, so I wouldn't sell it.
Like a real crypto purist would.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, I was just having the best time, and then all of a sudden feeling lots of pain.
Yeah.
But what about you? What's your story on this?
So I got in around 2013, but it was like one of those things where it's like, I only knew about it because one of my friends was like computer science major. And like, he reached out and was like, hey, you want to get some of this Bitcoin? Like, cause I think, was it like Silk Road? I think it might've been after the Silk Road. It blurs together.
It sounds about right. Silk Road. Yeah.
Went from 1,000 to 100, you know, picked some up, but I didn't pay attention to it, just kind of sat on a CD on my Bitcoin Core wallet in my closet. And I forgot my password, and we had to run a script to crack it, but like, I really got into it around 2016, 17 when I paid attention, and then like same story, thought I was a genius, all that stuff. And then I got wrecked as well. It's part of the growing pains, as you probably know. I'm a crypto eclectic. I like all kinds of different cryptos. Yep. I don't believe in the term shitcoin, all coins. I believe it's an economy that's growing. Bitcoin acted as the first digital sponge that soaked up liquidity from the old world. Right. You squeeze it, and it trickles down into the rest of the economy. Right. Of which some of these projects we're involved with are. So shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Because you and I are Wandalorians.
Absolutely.
As I know. And we love to talk about the Wanchain ecosystem. So I thought this would be a good topic to talk with none other than yourself right now. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, let's get into it. Regarding interoperability and solutions in the space, how do you think WAN ranks in terms of solutions?
I think they're top dog because the main thing with them is its interoperability. So it's a decentralized bridging network. A lot of these other projects that are trying to do what they're doing have been hacked multiple times because they don't have the same kind of security levels as Wanchain does. Wanchain's only problem is they're not in everyone's faces right now. But as far as the technology and the people making it, I feel like there's no one better.
Yeah, I mean, just talking off that and hacks and getting compromised. I mean, Wormhole, which was a Solana bridge between Solana and Ethereum, that just got drained for about 32 million.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah,
it was a lot of like there's a bunch of interoperability around the space, but doesn't mean they're all equal.
Right.
But as far as like the space has like, I guess you would say, appreciated the niche of interoperability, it's kind of used as a buzzword right now.
Right.
Like you come from an older cycle, right? Where the only way you can get from chain to chain was a centralized exchange.
Yep.
Right. That was the biggest sticking point. And that's why I loved interoperability, the niche of it, so much, because it was a pain in the ass.
It was. You have to send your coins to someone else in order to get into another chain. And I don't like that. I like to stay as decentralized and keep my coins in my control as much as I can. And so like the WAN bridge, great asset. I mean, like you don't have to go to a centralized exchange and you can flow from chain to chain.
Yeah. Actually, I saw you do a video on that where you demoed kind of kicking it out of Wanchain into your wallet, Bitcoin, I think.
Yeah.
So
that was awesome. That's like one of the moments where I realized that this is going to blow up at some point. In my opinion, obviously, this is just what I think. Anything could happen. Whenever I did that and saw that and experienced it working well, I was like, this has got to blow up at some point. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it just makes sense that something like that would be incredibly useful for this space.
For sure. And for the most part, Wanchain's security has been pretty top notch. It hasn't been compromised as yet. While a lot of other more, in my opinion, more hyped interoperability projects have, right? Like, and just looking at it from that standpoint, very technically competent, in my opinion, delivers on their promises in terms of getting things integrated. They have a lot of like WAN assets, guys. If you don't know that, that's basically one-to-one backed wrapped versions of other kind of assets in the Wanchain ecosystem. Right. But they're integrated with all these chains all over the ecosystem. Some of these more hyped projects, in my opinion, aren't as integrated or even talking about getting some of them integrated that Wanchain already has.
It makes sense.
If you build it, they will come. It's like one of those
things.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to say it. Yeah, if you build it, they will come.
For sure.
It'll just take time.
For sure. So and one thing that people forget, Wanchain is part of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, which is pretty much an organization, guys, that people who are building a Solidity and using Ethereum for enterprises are making standards to help expedite getting enterprises into blockchain and using the blockchain. So Wanchain's helping develop those standards for interoperability. So what are your thoughts on that? There's a lot of blockchains in that organization, but how do you think Wanchain plays a role in it?
I mean, that's a hard question. I don't really know how to answer it at this point. I think one of the things that I got excited about was the fact that they had a partnership, or still do. It's kind of a gray area. I'm not too sure with State Grid. I thought that was a good move forward as far as like getting big companies to integrate, blockchain technology. I mean, you'd probably have a better answer on this than me overall.
Well, there's no one right answer at that. It's kind of always kind of speculative, right? We don't,
yeah.
We don't know for sure, but agreed. I was so super bullish on the State Grid partnership.
Yep.
It's the third or first. I forgot the figure, but it's one of those pretty high up there on utilities in the world.
Right.
It's pretty much a State Grid of China, which has a lot.
Of people. Yeah. It's a ton of people.
So a lot of people, like the way I looked at it is like if they are able to penetrate that entity for usage, that's a lot of volume. That's continual volume. That's all the partnerships you really need.
Right. Yeah.
So like I'm with you on that. I'm still waiting to hear more. So
Wanchain, give us some updates on that, because that's exciting. I mean, if they got that company interested, then obviously they have something useful and interesting. So we just need an update on that would be great.
What I think the reason for the silence is every time people reach out, at least I've heard in the community, they're told, hey, we're not in charge of when information is presented to the public on this.
Right.
And I get that though, because
Yeah,
China's
makes sense.
very top down,
Yep.
in terms of government. So you're not going to hear about something until the Chinese government lets you know that you could tell.
Yeah.
Right.
We won't hear anything until China's ready to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, it's very interesting thing to think about, because I mean, within that are a lot of like household name blockchains, and there's not that many interoperability focused projects though.
No, there's not.
Yeah, so that could be a home run too. It's just that we're lacking the clarity regarding that, which we'd love to have.
We would. That'd be great. Let us know. Give us something to get excited about.
For sure.
Even though that being said, I buy probably too much because I believe in it so much. So honestly, if I end up being one of the top holders in the whole ecosystem, I'd be excited about that, which I don't know. I might get close. I might be close. I have no idea. I haven't checked in a long time.
Awesome.
I have a bag. And
See,
I'm excited about it.
And that's the thing. Can you tell us a little bit about that mentality? Because I mean, you've been in the space for a while, and 2016, a couple years ago, that wasn't too long in the space, but now it's getting near ancient, So like, there's people who don't understand that concept. They think that if the candles aren't green, you're losing.
Right.
How do you think about investing? It sounds like you're somewhat of a value investor. Is that correct?
Yes. So I dollar cost average all the time. Actually, my worst mistakes in crypto were the ones where I gave up too soon. Where I sold something that I didn't have enough patience to hold longer, and then as soon as it felt like as soon as I sold it, they're like, "All right, ImRedryan's out. Let's launch it." Is what it felt like. So my best experience has been finding a project that you truly believe in, finding like a target to sell a little bit at to like protect your investment, and then just hold. Sure. But also on the other side, I've also held projects to zero. So, but my biggest wins were ones that I held, believed in, and had the patience to hold on long enough until the dream happened.
For sure.
Yeah,
guys. Like, I have some crypto vets to new people on my channel. So that's the thing, like, oh, it hasn't done anything, it hasn't performed. It's like, well, there's still time for you to accumulate.
Right.
That's the long ball.
I mean, it took me a long time to change my perspective. Like if I found a project that I like and it goes down, I don't get upset because I'm like, all right, well, I can get more for cheaper now. So that's kind of the mentality I go in with things is, and if you do that and you don't go, too hard, don't overinvest yourself to where you are so emotionally invested in it, as if it goes down, you're like, you've lost everything. You don't want to do that. But if you trickle in, it's easier to win in the end.
Yeah.
Regardless of which way it goes.
And I could think of so many examples where I kick myself not doing that. It's always easy to say until the market's 90% down and you're cash trapped and you're like, oh my God. But every single time I don't, I always end up kicking myself. And like, how many times do you do the same thing expecting a different result? Isn't that like the definition of insanity? So looking at Wanchain, it hurts to see the current valuations.
It does.
But later on, it could work to your benefit.
That's what I think. I think it will. I don't know when, but I think it will. And I'll be here when it happens.
Selfishly, I am bullish on the whole niche of interoperability.
Right.
And there's not too many projects focusing on that, so it's easy to just blanket the playing field.
Right.
That's kind of like a strategy I'm taking. Cosmos is basically doing a lot of the same things as Wanchain. They have something called the IBC, which basically acts like the Stormin node that Wanchain has, where it collects the native asset, kicks out a derivative into the WAN ecosystem, comes back, and you could only like get the original back once you return the WAN asset. So basically. But like, they're doing a lot of good stuff and they're developing. They have a strong community and they have a good ecosystem developing over there. However, there's like a lot of conversation being had about integrating chains and making progress in terms of interoperability that WANers already have. Like they're already
they already got it. Yeah,
they already got it, and they continue to grow more. And I think I looked at a interview from Jack Lew, and he said, hey, you know, there's a lot of projects out there. We're the one that actually really works. And as they try to catch up, we're just going to get farther and farther ahead.
Right.
You know,
And
do
that's
you
what I've
believe
seen.
that? Do you believe that's the trajectory?
Yeah, I do. They're already way ahead of the game. I mean, there's been like big name projects that are more well known than Wanchain that are so much farther behind than them. Like I feel like when I listen to Jack Lew talk, I actually can hear the confidence in Wanchain when he talks about it. So it's clear that he believes in what they're building and what they're achieving. And like you said earlier, like they're not missing their deadlines. Like they're working hard to actually create what they said they're going to create, and they're doing it. So yeah, I see them being the dudes that are ahead of the game. Just people need to know that it exists. That's it.
For sure.
Yep.
And you know, like I don't think. Well, actually, let me ask you this. I'll stop asking leading questions. In terms of blockchain, do you believe interoperability is the most important niche, or are there other ones that outrank it in your mind?
Currently, that is what I'm obsessed with. Because I can see the space missing it and needing it right now. Because every single time I want to, you know, trade in and out of a certain chain, I don't like using Binance or Qcoin or somewhere where I have to, you know, give them my coins for a second and hope that in 10 minutes I can get them back, because those exchanges, they should, you know, they go down every once in a while randomly. And if they go down, then your money is stuck with them until they come back up. I mean, Mt. Gox is you know, a great story to sell interoperability. You know, you could talk about that and say this is what happened to the people who put their money on Mt. Gox. And this is why an interoperable option is so important, because then you don't have to send your money to those guys. You can just use this tool that Wanchain has developed.
Yeah.
So
you know, and I think it takes, unfortunately, a cataclysmic event, much like Mt. Gox. So like we both saw it, right? Like we went through it. We went through the selling of the Bitcoin, dumping the price, you know, all that. New people entering the space. I think that sounds like ancient history, but it's really just the same problems perpetuating until something's actually implemented. So I totally hear you on that. I look at interoperability layers as the glue that connects all of these cool. I think Jack Lew says value islands.
I think of Wanchain as like the middleman between all chains. Is kind of how I see it. And I think it has a high chance of it becoming the one that everyone uses. You know, we'll see what happens, but that's what I believe. That's why I buy so much of it.
Well, that brings me to an area that I don't think anyone, unless I'm wrong, isn't addressing, and that is layer 2 to layer 2 bridges. So they just signed a partnership with Polygon, a strategic partnership with Polygon. To go layer 2 to layer 2. That's something that I haven't heard any other interoperability project talk about. What do you think about that?
I think that's, awesome. I think any well-known name crypto project that Wanchain can get into development with, like they work together to create something better, is awesome. I don't care what project it is, as long as that team that they're working with also seems like a team that's actually achieving something great. And I'm excited to, see what happens with it.
Cool. Yeah, because like I am I guess you would say like a DeFi degen, man. Like I shove liquidity in places it probably shouldn't be shoved.
Yeah, I do that too. I can't help but give these decentralized exchanges my money, so they'll give me more money back over time. I'm addicted to it. It feels like passive income. I wake up the next day and I've got all these different currencies at these other places that I earn every single day. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it. And sometimes it works out great. Sometimes I lose my money.
Yeah.
But,
that's the life we live in crypto, man. But in terms of like Ethereum DeFi, back in the day, Ethereum gas fees were like $4. Okay,
I know. I remember it.
It wasn't a big deal. Now
it wasn't.
It is.
Now it's painful. Now I don't really do it at all anymore. It's too expensive. You got to wait like a few months just to get your fee back. But you know what I mean? Like when you enter liquidity on Uniswap and stuff like that. And so I still hold Ethereum because it's Ethereum, but I don't use it. I just I just hold on to it.
Yeah, like the way I participate in ETH DeFi now is layer 2. And that's why I bring it up. Like at Polygon, Quick Swap, stuff like
Yep.
that. Because you could just pretty much get around all of that and still get retractive returns. That's the reason why I think the strategic partnership with Polygon is probably going to be significant.
Yeah,
for Wanchain in the long run.
They're definitely the most well-known like layer 2 Polygon, right? Would you say? Yeah, I feel like that's right.
Yeah. So like, I mean, look, I see a world where people never leave layer 2.
Yeah.
If that's the case, if that where the yield is, I mean, pull it out. I mean, every time you pull it out, I mean, until they fix their gas fee issue, you're going to be paying $80.
Listen, I remember whenever Vitalik promised Ethereum 2.0 in like what, 2016?
Oh,
and
yeah.
We're in 2022. So at this pace, we'll probably get it, I don't know, 100 years, maybe?
I'd tell people that. I said, hey, guys, they're like, Ethereum 2.0 is right around the corner. I'm like, it's been right around the corner for 5 years, man.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting, too, because, I mean, apparently there's more layer 2s. I think the one everyone uses right now is Polygon. But if Wanchain could be the mechanism between all of them, I think there's so much volume to be had over there.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I agree. I'm excited about that for sure.
I just see them positioning themselves all around the periphery.
Right.
You know, like when I think of it as in terms of strategy, it's like, okay, if you can't get direct traction, just get on the outside. And then when liquidity leaks out, you're there to catch it. There.
Yep.
That's all Wanchain really needs, is to be a net for liquidity when it starts leaking away from Ethereum. And I'm just waiting for Ethereum to drop the ball even more.
Yep. I mean, me too.
That's what blew up Binance Smart Chain. That's what blew up Cardano. That's what blew up Solana.
Yeah. I don't use Solana because I don't like it, but the reason why I started buying BNB was because of my terrible experience on Ethereum. They were like one of the first smart contract platforms that I ran to after I was over it with Ethereum.
Was that 2020 or 2020?
2020, yeah, somewhere around there. I loaded up on a bag of BNB, and it was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked. Yeah, it worked. And it didn't cost too much to use it.
No.
So,
well, awesome. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the secret sauce for Wanchain in terms of like, you know, just slowly chipping away, getting partnership here until they're pretty much connected with everybody, and then it's I
feel like a development that'll be pretty beneficial for Wanchain is the OpenZoo platform, because that's the big niche right now is NFTs, and if they can get marketing and if they can get in front of the eyes of NFT collectors, and if we can get even more selection on OpenZoo, I feel like that could really blow the whole ecosystem up. Interesting stat. So I've been working on this project, Small Arm Syndicate. That's me and my wife's first project that we're still working on. It's more like a side passion project. But this is Small Arm Syndicate. We've got 1,150 NFTs minted. Through all those transactions, we've only used 0.7 WAN. So over 1,000 transactions that cost us like 20 cents.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think Solana is similar to that, but the problem is Solana, what I don't like about Solana is at any given moment, if they feel like turning off their blockchain, they can. And in my mind, that is not crypto. That is just like everything. That's like MasterCard offering NFTs. Sure. Or something like that. So I don't like that. But this is a Small Arm Syndicate. It's basically what we're trying to do is use all the awesome features that OpenZoo has offered. So you got an attribute filter. Every single one of our assets is listed and has a rarity connected to it. Our website's coming out on, I think, Saturday. Okay. We'll have a tool where you can actually tell the rarity of each asset that we have listed. Like if you click on, go to attribute filters, click on skins, you can see all the different skins our characters have, which is awesome.
Braveheart. I gotta see Braveheart.
Yeah, click on it, hit apply, and you can see all our Bravehearts. We're gonna have a total of 10,000 of these.
Is it the paint? The different paint on the side? Yeah, I see that.
Yep. That's the skin. Cool. But we have a collection of 10,000 of these, and what we're doing is, if you're a NFT owner right now, our vision is to earn money from the NFTs, do royalty sharing where we send back 10% of everything we make to our NFT holders, as well as share 25% of our royalty sharing. And what we're going to do with the funds that we make is we're going to make a game that we've been working on for a long time, or at least the concept of it. And if you're interested, I'll just tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure.
The game idea we have. So this is the idea between our game, or of our game. We want to make a third-person campaign shooter. So all the NFTs that you have, that you see out there, we're going to have a 3D model of it, which our 3D artist guy is working on. We'll have a prototype out in like a week or so. The basic idea is we'll have a collection of factions fighting over like 16 different pieces of land. This is, the starting details that could change, but right now we're thinking 16 pieces of land. Each map is going to generate a passive income via our token, which is way down the road. We're raising money to accomplish all this. And factions can wage wars on each land to capture the land and steal the income for their faction. There's going to be 2 tiers of players, NFT holders, and then people that just use the token to upgrade their character. Each faction will have a king that will be voted into the ecosystem using a governance from the token or the NFTs. And this king will receive an extra income from the faction, as well as the side who is banished from the faction. If you do something that the whole faction doesn't like, they'll send you to the Deadlands. In the Deadlands, this is where a player can create a rebellion and try to take an entire faction or try to get recruited to another faction. Each faction will have a main kingdom with a marketplace for buying equipment and upgrades. So that's the basic details of the game we're working on.
That's awesome, man.
We have a small team of about five people working on it as of right now. But this is the dream. We need a lot of money to make it because it takes a lot of resources to do that. But that's the dream between what we're working on right now. Now that, and then plus we want to make a very interactive, fun, collectible experience with the NFTs we're making. So
that's awesome, man. And why did you think OpenZoo was the place to do it?
Because I see the potential of the market, the potential of this marketplace. Like we're a small community right now. There's I think only 6,000 people that have even entered into OpenZoo right now.
Oh, really?
And like Genshi, the guy that's leading the whole OpenZoo project, I feel like he's destined for success. I mean, the stuff that they're working right now, if you just, like you said earlier, if you build it, they will come. I mean, with Zoo Racers coming out soon, the game looks awesome. I don't know if you've seen the sneak peek that they released.
Yeah,
it looks like top notch. And so I feel with their success, it's going to bring a lot of eyes to OpenZoo. And then every single time a new awesome project is released on OpenZoo, it will bring in even more eyes. I just see a similar story for OpenZoo happening, just like, the Solana story, except for Wanchain won't be able to shut it off whenever they feel like it.
For sure.
So I don't know. I love the community. The community for such a small project, for a token, like I'm talking about Zoo, having as small of a market cap of, I think, $5 million now, the community is, super positive, super active. Eventually that's going to catch on.
It is positive. It is positive. Yeah. I would say that. And that's what really drew me to Wandalorians in the first place, to be honest. Because like once you've been in crypto for a while, some of the communities get a little toxic, man. Like,
they do. Very fast.
They get toxic and they get bitter and it was a breath of fresh air to just be a group of people who obviously just were really about the project and were excited about the project. And that's something that takes me back to an older time in crypto.
Right.
When people didn't really necessarily care about the gains, they just were about the ethos.
Right. It's amazing. It is, like you said, a breath of fresh air. It's amazing to me that as far as the Zoo token, Wanchain token, the Zoo community, even though we've experienced like a 90% loss from like 4 or 5 months ago, there's still no one in the Telegram and Discord just like shitting on it. You know what I mean? It's all still positive. Everyone can still see the vision. And they've got multi-chain coming up for OpenZoo. They've got Zoo Racers coming out here soon. Yeah, look at that. See, that looks awesome. This is like the early stages of this game.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
Guys.
This is Zoo Racer, guys, and it's
Zoo Racer
made in partnership with Yggdrasil, which worked on Final Fantasy.
Yes.
So like
legit dudes. Yeah.
when you have concrete hard evidence showing that there's progress being made with partnerships in the game library, play to earn, like with playable NFTs, by the way, which is I think is maybe not the first, but it's definitely not the norm in terms of the NFT space right now.
It is not. Right.
You know, so like
Right.
obviously, like I cannot ask for anything more from the Zoo team. Been super active and delivering.
Yep.
100%. And just from a ROI standpoint, guys, $5 million in a project is nothing. 10
It's
million,
absolutely nothing.
10 million is considered tiny. That's half a tiny.
Yeah, half a tiny.
And they have a video game like this.
They have, a great looking video game. The potential here is just ridiculous. And I can't see any other scenario happening than everyone that believes in the project just benefiting tremendously. Like our minds blown type. But that's, again, it's just my opinion. You guys do your own research, decide for yourself. I just love it.
Well, you bring up good points too, because like, I like to tell my community that blockchains aren't like priced by like revenue models. They're Metcalfe's law, like network effects. How many people are participating, right? Cross-chain NFTs, cross-chain gameplay.
Yep.
So that means everyone in the entire blockchain space could end up playing this game and fighting for the NFTs offered within this game.
Yep.
And pretty much all of OpenZoo. So like when you really look at the fundamentals, I think it's such a big concept, it's hard to grasp.
It is.
But what are your thoughts on Wanswap?
I love Wanswap because it is a simple, easy to use, decentralized exchange on Wanchain. So if you believe in the Wanchain ecosystem and you believe in OpenZoo, obviously they're going to be one of the dudes that are going to grow with it because it is a very, very easy user-friendly experience. Anyone that's used a decentralized exchange before is going to know exactly what to do because the interface is great. The experience is good. You can farm just like you can anywhere else. Their market cap is incredibly low. I think it's like 1.2 million. So again, the sky's the limit. Anything could happen. I like it. For
sure. Yeah. I got into it when it first like released, and they were doing incentive like 5 times rewards for like the first
me too.
Hey, I was like, okay. It was like one of the best. It was one of the best deals in the blockchain space, and everyone was just ignoring it.
I mean, that was one of the best farming experiences I had.
I know
with that 5x, it was crazy.
I was blown away. Wanswap, I think it has a lot of potential moving forward in the future. Just to be fair, I think one of the issues they have to overcome is the liquidity issue. Like some of the pairs don't have a lot of liquidity at all, like the EOS pair like slips on
or
me
BNB. I don't think BNB has much. I tried to do a trade on that, it didn't, and it was the fees were low, but like the percentage difference of what you'd get versus what you sell into it was really high. So we need some more liquidity on it, and that'll help a lot.
And I think that's one of the main things that's really stopping people from getting deep into it because it checks all the boxes, right? Cross-chain DEX.
Right.
I mean, if you're an old school whale, you're loving that. The only thing you're not loving is not being able to go in heavy into like different positions. So easily fixed. It's just like one of those problems where it's like, okay, we know what to do.
Yeah.
How do we do it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Wanswap. Like I said, it's easy to use, and that's really the most important thing when it comes to DEXs. And if you're a whale, you need way more liquidity, like you said. So
unless you slip yourself 90%, and then you probably you're not going to do that.
No, hopefully not.
You wouldn't be a whale if you did.
No, you wouldn't anymore if you did it. And you weren't
anymore. That's for sure. Hey, since we're on the topic of the ecosystem, what other projects do you think have potential? I think Wanswap and OpenZoo, I mean Zookeeper are like the main ones right now, but there's other ones. Anything you have an eye on?
So have you seen Poachers on OpenZoo?
I haven't, no.
So it's an NFT project. They're supposed to come out with another DEX built on Wanchain. The development's going on right now. I'm speculatively kind of bullish on it. It really depends on after the platform gets released. But that's another thing that I love about OpenZoo. It's going to motivate all these new developers and creators to enter into the space. And so if that pans out well, I feel like Poachers Finance could be a pretty good win. I'm invested a little bit on it. And I like the vision that they have created.
Cool.
Have you entered into OpenZoo at all?
Yes, I have. I'm actually in the process of trying to get my NFT minted. Yeah, I don't have a name really. It's honestly a song I made. So I told you I'm into music, and I
Right.
actually produce music, master music, write music. So
That's
it's
awesome.
actually a song. Yeah, it's a hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, song. And then it comes
Nice.
with like an art piece. It does some motion and stuff like that.
I've never been more excited, but more stressed and more scared than when I'm working on something and creating something and sending it out into the world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you miss, if you don't try, you're already failing. And,
Yeah.
you know, you don't fail until you stop trying. So, I mean, go for it.
What are your thoughts on WanLend? You know, the reason I bring it up is because I do these things called dub dailies now, where I do like
Yep.
4 or 5 times where I go over news, and I've just been seeing the SEC going after BlockFi, after Celsius, after Nexos now recently this
Mhm.
week. And they're not going after the crypto to crypto interest. They're going after the fiat and stable
Yep.
coin interest.
Yep.
And that sucks because that was my strategy.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna
Yeah.
drop it in there, FDIC insured stable coins. Who cares? They're stable coins,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
But now, you know, I think at least US citizens are gonna have to turn to DeFi, and WanLend is obviously a tool that could be used.
Yeah, it works. It's a good user experience. You just got to keep in mind that whenever you lend out your money, you can't withdraw it until someone pays that money back.
Yeah.
But the whole time you're earning interest on it.
Yeah.
The kings of DeFi, I still believe that they are, and eventually everyone else will see that they are as well.
I think so too. I think so too. I mean, what do you think will be the catalyst?
The catalyst will be whenever more people know that it exists. If I feel like when they start marketing, they should start marketing like out of the box. Like maybe use OpenZoo as a tool to get people interested in the blockchain. Like get some TikTok influencers that all they do is talk about NFTs. Get them to talk about Wanchain and OpenZoo, because that's where there's a ton of eyes in the NFT space on TikTok and Instagram, and if they see a whole new area of market potential, they're gonna flock to it. But they got to know it exists.
At least, you know, looking at it from this lens, they have a working product.
Right.
They have
works great.
They've done the work in the right order. You know, even though it's taken patience and it's perseverance, they've done it in the right order where you actually get attention. It's not wasted because you only really get one shot at attention.
Yep.
People don't like to come back. They like to find you, and it works. And this is awesome.
I feel like everything in the Wanchain ecosystem right now works great. Very easy to use. The eyes just need to know it exists, need to see it. And once they figure that out, the sky's the limit. That's what I think.
Well, awesome, man. I know you're a busy guy, and I won't keep you too long. But thanks a lot for joining me on the channel. It was a lot of fun. You're a cool dude.
It was a ton of fun. Yeah, we got to do this again. I love talking to other Wandalorians who are like-minded and see the potential. It's a breath of fresh air, like you've said already in this stream. I love it. It was great.
Nice,
Tons of fun.
Nice, man. All right. Well, thanks a lot, and hope to talk to you soon.
All right. See you, man.